My apologies. When I'm like sitting up because it will be like my first time doing like a podcast. But yeah, a podcast. What I'm doing is how to go beyond past the limits, right? And right now you're asking, well, you've already uploaded the video and all that stuff. Yeah, but pretty much if you not like a person who watch internet a lot and all that stuff, it will help you. It will help you this video. This will be like a no edited filter, me speaking, no funny goofy ass videos. Sometimes it doesn't even come out goofy. Sometimes it doesn't. So I'm literally like, oh yeah. And also helps me to communicate well and with the edited versions one too. So let's talk about what I literally talk about on YouTube, right? Is that the cookie jar. The cookie jar, I don't really use it correctly, or I completely don't use a lot of the methods of cookie jar from David Goggins, of course. And the reasons why is because I don't really I forget them, to be honest. I'm like trying to understand what he's no, I'm trying to remember the stuff like so I can use it, but it's like nah, I just like laze around and stay here. But literally I said, okay, I need to push beyond my limits. Like right now I one let me go back to my thoughts. So basically, me pushing my limits is one is making like this is not even mine, but this is like the second point of view of the picture, so I can get like more attention from other people and all type of stuff. And also I need to get rid of my anxiety because right now I'm like stiff, focused, not really focused, but the opposite of focus and all that stuff. And I have my dog right here, and it's a bit weird to just like start doing this. But let's go back to the second point that I did in a video that I'm trying to remember on the way is that just do it. And what I mean by just doing it doesn't mean like this and that, because when I was making the video, I was like trying to process the things, right? But in reality, I was trying to instead say, okay, just do the work. So let's say I finish up curling like 25 dumbbells. I have a dumbbell right here, right? I'm just trolling one, right? And that was like my max limit, right? Let's say that like I can only do that. Well, the next one you can just make it again with your free time or whatever time. Like, let's say you go to your house, right? Or let's say you go to gym. You go to gym and all that, right? You finish your workout, right? And then when you return back to your house, maybe do some push-ups, or if you even have like a pull-up bar, you can, go to the park and do some pull-ups only once or something like that. And you're going beyond your limits by just doing that. The other thing is when people say do 10 or like a limit cap, right? In your head, you can say your own self, well, let me do one more or five more or even pass that. And you can actually say you pass beyond your limits. You will say, well, I want to go beyond and win records. Well, what did Kobe Bryant did? This is what I understand from Kobe Bryant and from other people, right? Is that they didn't have like a social life, let's be honest. Well, sort of. They did and didn't, something like that. And this basketball player only played a lot of times until he did more. For Mike Tyson, it was like boxing, and he just overdone it until he actually thought he can kill the people. If he didn't kill, then it's a big mistake. Literally, he actually thought like killing his um opponent. And yeah, you may say, well, do you actually follow through these type of steps? In reality, yeah. One, I was like making the videos, right? Literally, I was like in the vacation. I was in California. This long things, right? I was in California. I was like, shit, I cannot do nothing in this point. And I was reading this book called um this is, you can use it also, Thinking Big. You had to think big to order to get the stuff, and you also gotta take practice and other stuff, right? It's like one equation out of many stuffs. Literally, I said, okay, if I want to become the big top YouTuber or something like that, right? I must do at least 2 videos when I post, right? So like that is like, so like that my viewer can understand if he didn't really understand, if under really understand what I'm saying in the edited version, and he can go to the podcast. Is like, ah, yeah, that makes sense and all that stuff. Yeah, right there is showing beyond. Let's say I'm like trying to study for school and all that, right? And you already know there's like a deadline on the test somewhere, right? Let's say it's like past beyond like a 3 weeks, something like that, right? And you say, well, how do I pass that grade and even go beyond that grade? Well, one, you can probably tell your teacher to give you more homework, more work, and more stuff. Shut up, dog. Um, to order to pass beyond the challenges. Literally, I've done this when I was elementary. Right now, I'm not really focused on school. I'm straight honest. Not really focused on school. Like, I have good grades. Only the bad grade is like sort of bad grade, right? It's like a 70. It will be like art, and that's because I don't want to finish my artwork, even though I'm a good artist and everybody calls me a artist, right? And right now I'm doing art. My videos is art. Is that, yeah, I don't want to finish them. To be honest, I prefer them to be calling like study notes and all that. But that's, I don't really care about school. Now, don't plan to think that. The only thing that I maybe possibly would go to is what's so called be a fireman, but that's like in case. But I can always go to school for that, and yeah. So that's why I'm like YouTube and other big plans in the future. I'm also, I had to repeat it over and over again, my content, so you order to other people can understand it. But that's my process of thought right there, and that's going beyond limit by just explaining to my people, being honest. You know, Twa- Taylor Swift, right? She's one of the musicians that actually tells her story in a sort of way. She's like an artist, music. Wow, literally, she actually sings a song like, all those boyfriends breaking up with me and all that stuff. This is what I explained one of my friends who wants to be a musician, and also want to be a musician with him, right? The that you had to describe part of you or something to order to your fan to actually connect with you. If you don't actually be honest and real, right? Then it's gonna show eventually. It's like, what a dickhead move. And for me, just practicing doing this, right? It will suck at first. My first videos will suck. Like, many videos will suck. Until I start getting good and better performance, then that's where I hit the goal. But since I'm kind of new on this and more stuff on it, duh, it's gonna suck. Now, of course, maybe I need to put more attention to the camera and do all this stuff. But reality, yeah. What is the other thing that I put? I'm gonna check my notes on this guy. Like, write this, but I was like, I don't want to read this stuff. Okay, the jar. Oh yeah, one of my fail videos. I call it fail videos because didn't really want to edit it and redo it again because it sounded like iffy and boring, right? And also find the strategy that I told you guys, that two cameras and all that stuff, right? Is that future clone? I use this a lot, well, sort of a lot. It's not like a lot, but it's right in between, like using it, but not often. I use it when I'm really tired, not focused or something like that. But it's only on running, to be honest. Only in running, sprinting. The future clone, it's called. The future clone, he is inspiring you and giving you support, to be honest. You just had to imagine it, use your creativity mind. And if you say, well, I don't have creativity, you just bullshit, to be honest. This is what sound offensive, right? But you had to train your mind just you train as your body. Because believe it or not, your brain is a muscle. You have muscles. And what you can do is strengthen it by doing exercise. You can be more stronger, or you can lift more weights if you lift more weights, or you can be like Bruce Lee, just doing one exercises and be strong like that. So you had to train your creativity mind to pass even more limits to order to do that. So literally, you had to imagine this imaginary you, right? Saying you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and then say you just need to lift your booty ass. Maybe call you some names that you hate, and say you will make it, something like that. Like for me, it's like this. I'm sitting down, right? Sitting down. I'm not really motivated as shit, right? You can use a cookie jar, but I use mostly half and half, like I said. The future clone to say to myself, okay, you can do it. You're not stupid as the people say to you. You are. You're not the retarded people. You're not this people who bully you in the past. You're not this type of people. And then you call yourself names, and then you say, okay, let me stand up because I'm gonna be just like him. You literally like point at it, even though it's like nothing right there, and maybe what's your family think you're crazy or something like that. And the other one that is kind of similar, right? It's called the past self. Is the competition. It also combines with the competition and sorts of stuff. You basically you just try to compete your own self, or I call it like a past version of yourself. Do you actually see your past version of yourself, like the skinny one? Maybe he's skinny, fat, I don't know. But you say, okay, I'm just gonna do more better than him because he's just lifting like a lower weight, but he's trying. He's like eye to you, like saying, you can even not do this, something like that. And then you beat them and you say, haha, I'm gonna go even beyond the limit, beyond that you thought you're gonna go, and then you go the extra mile, as people say. And the other one is, this is like new from the video that I didn't really posted it, right? And the video that I posted it is that maybe you had to go brain dead. For me, it doesn't really work on lifting weights, right? Because when I go brain dead, I don't really move. I'm like staring at nothing. And when I stare nothing, I'm wasting time and effort on doing nothing. So of course, I just had to move something and try to remind and trying to better my focus intake instead of being a lazy ass and doing nothing. What else I'm gonna say? It's I'm trying to think out of my ass, right? What videos did I actually tell you? Because I say random stuff that I remember and sometimes it doesn't. Even though I supposed to actually remember stuff because I, I started to practice the art of memory to order to tell you guys how to be more smarter. Um, okay, so I'm trying to recall everything. Let's just wait a second. Lol. Yeah, you already saw some things. um. Yeah, just think of it as bonus points because I'm not gonna go and check back on the video on the thing. And probably you understand both ways and you were like, huh, why there's two videos right here? Yeah. That well, let me tell you some experience when I use this stuff. At least you can have some storytelling to be because it will be boring if there was no content to really tell you about. Okay, okay. So when I was using Wasuko the cookie jar, it was when I was running on PE, right? We had to do like at least like 10 laps around the football field. And of course, I was nobody wants to do it, like, honestly. So I just like started running, right? And I see people like going behind me, like at the fifth something like the laps around the football field. I started to get tired. And I was like, I already passed beyond people and I already reached my time limit. Basically, I did more than people, right? I only need to do three more. I said to myself, well, I need to pass beyond my own limit and start fighting my own inner demons because it started to creep up this second self. And I was like, okay, I need to stop. I need to remember the good things, what I did in the past. So I started to remember this past self, myself, right, from the past. That I did was also called the the Femmisgram. And everybody knows what is the Femmisgram. No, the pacer test. Meant to say that. And so I said I can just repeat this my old self what I did. So now I started to use my past self, right? And try to graph the cookie jar. I call it both, right? And then I started to do like around like 27 laps on the football field. And that moment, that would sound like a David Goggins moment right here, but at that moment, I actually took their thoughts. Even the coach wasn't impressed. Literally, he wanted me to join one of his sports. It's like a he was in tennis, right? But he said you should join like track. This guy that I know, blah blah blah, right? You should definitely try. I really wanted to join, but some technical stuff from my house, right? I couldn't really join track. I'm being straight honest. Like people was like really impressed how much I can run, and I probably can do what's so called not fast running, but more like long distance running. And also I also remember like when I was getting muscle, right? People start saying, "Wow, you look so buff and stuff." I don't know, probably because I have like veins sometimes. It pops up, but not often. But they tell me like you should definitely join football. And I said to them, "Well, I try next year." I don't even know if I'm gonna be next year to be honest. But the football, I don't know. I don't really have feelings for that. I'm just like I want to join maybe for content and something like that. But that's all. Well, this is the end of the podcast because honestly, I'm just putting something out of my ass that I don't really know what to talk. And this is will be my first time being like a not edited version. Well, not really. Maybe I did some in the past, but I don't really recall. But I'm trying. I'm pushing the limits, as one says. You should do that too. Honestly, I'm being honest. Like, do better each time.